Hi, everybody. So just going to wait a second or two. I know I didn't give you a lot of notice about this, but that's just kind of the way my week's going. And it's only Tuesday. I said I'd come back on and talk a little bit about how I sort my stuff out to get ready to create each of the pages. And that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I was going to suggest to you that I should have probably time, but it's okay. I took a photocopy of that template page that's at the back of the instructions, and I thought, well, I want to keep it all together in case I decide I'm going to make this. Hello, Linda. That's why I just made a photocopy of it, and it quite well. So I'm going to hang on to this in case I decide to do something similar in the future. But I'm gonna set it for right now because we're not gonna, because you should have already cut all yours if you're working with me, and if you're not, there's a part one that walk through cutting. There's, so I'm a big Ziploc. Even when I go to a retreat, I usually bring my stuff in a Ziploc. Have my page one front, page one back, all in separate Ziploc bag. So that's kind of what I did with. So after we did all the cutting last time, I sat here after we ended that tutorial or that video, and did all my separating on my. So I separated all my paper. Just going to open this one to kind of the idea. So you know, I have my sleeve in here, and I separated my bits that go on the front and the back of that page. All those pieces we cut down, and I find this is what works the best for me. Yeah, you do use a few Ziploc bags. You kind of do whatever works. I know Tammy does it completely different, and doesn't get right, doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different, and that's all I'm going to say on that subject. So I'm probably going to do maybe 1 or 2 pages with you guys. I'm also going to say, if you're struggling with putting this together, what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to me over on Scrapbookers. You're going to tag me and just say, hey, I'm working on my place kit. I'm having a problem, and just put my name in there. And you guys all knew who I am, so that's the easy part in it. So let's get rolling, and we're going to do page 1 and page 2, and we'll just see where we are time-wise. I really don't want to bore you guys to death with this. It's to get you into the idea of how you do one of these kits. And they're so easy, and these instructions are so good. I can't say that enough. They really did an awesome job with the instructions. The only place I think that we might find that we have to sort of change the cutting a little bit is, let me just look at the instructions. We get to page 9, I think it is. Page 9, they said for us this top blue strip at 8 1/4. I believe we should at 8, so we don't have to do the piece. We just have to probably take 1/4 of an inch off of that when we get to this point. And on the back on page 10, you're going to have to do the same thing. So we're not going to get that far today. I know not, but just look at your pictures. It kind of tells you what sleeve you're going to. So in this particular case on page, what you need is the sleeve, that long space at the top, and then it has a space for 2 4x6 next to each other. But if you decide to go rogue, hey, go for it. I can't see what you do. The other thing I'm going to mention, because my binder has got a problem with, I am not going to cover page. just because it's saying to put the pink inside this biscuit. Let me this. It should have put. It wants you to put the adhesive. I'm assuming they want you this too. And then what they want you to do, they want you to insert this pink piece. I'm just gonna take us this far because it makes total sense to me. I read it and they said the work easier if you do it this way. So I've got a new binder to me because this one is got an issue. You know, it happens sometimes. So they want you to put the pink first. Then they want you to center the white piece on top of it and adhere, and then your pick with the doodle pop. Okay, I am not going to do that today. And then after all of that, you would adhere your acrylic, the acrylic back into there, because I need to wait for my new one to come. I'm not going to do that. So hope that makes sense. It doesn't confuse you. That's where we're at. Right. So let's get started. We're going to jump over that and we go right to this page 1. And I love directions because everything on this page is the same size as what you have. Like all this is exactly the same size as what's on this piece of paper. So I think that's a great way to do a layout, because especially when you have many clouds, you can at least find the right clouds. Okay, now a few other little notes here at the bottom. It tells you what you need to pop up with foam tape or foam dots and where the sprinkles go. I may go back and do all my sprinkles at the end. I'm not really sure kind of how I want to handle this, but we'll see how it's a roll. So I got to lay my instructions someplace where I can see them. I should get my sprinkles out, which I believe are in this bag. That would be shape sprinkles, heart sprinkles. So I'll just get those things out. All right. So we'll see if we actually do the sprinkles. So the sleeve you're going to need for page one and page 2 is the 8x8 that has the pocket in the side of it. There's absolutely no division in it. That's the first thing. And as it tells me, we want that 8x8 that we cut, which is for the front of it, which is this one right here. All this other stuff over out of view because it's just gonna clutter my face. I can't work. There's thing going on. All right, so we're gonna put it on my map. And there somebody messaged me the last video that we looked wonky, and watching this one, and it looked at my end. So hopefully it's good at your end too. All right, so got this laid out, and then it wants the next one is this 7x7 white. So let's it. And again, I'm going to say this is going to get down to your personal choice, but I'm going to show you a little here. Now I just got to find them. Aha, they're way over here. Hopefully I don't rattle the work. All right. I have one. There we go. 1 and 2. That's what I want. So you know these wonderful spacers, the small spacers you can get from CCCC. They will work perfectly to help with some positioning of some of our pieces in this. So that's another little. But to use it I'm going to turn my board to the side, making sure I'm still staying in the shot. I am. I'm pushing that 8x8 right up into the corner. And then what we've going on here is a 7x7. So I am assuming my 1/2 inch, assuming that's what these guys are. I should double check that before I'm doing this with you. Yes, they are the 1/2 inches. I push them right up into the corners after I've got my paper all the way I want it. And look at this. What a great way to lay this down. I'm going to lift these for a second. And you've got perfect placement. So if you haven't, hi Alice, how are you? Glad you could join me. I know I popped on. It's been a crazy weekend. It was a crazy start to the week. And so this is how we're going to part 2 of this kit done. So I gave you instructions at the beginning, Alice, but now we're ready to get rolling here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our 1/2 inch spacers that you can get. I'm just going to see this paper doesn't seem like it's square, so give me a second here. I just want to put it in my cutter and give it a little trim because something is off about it. I'd rather fix it now than to have to deal with it being an ongoing for me. I'm just making sure that my 8x is truly 8x8, or did I miscut it? I didn't miscut it, so what's going on here? Let's get it into the. Okay, I think we'll be fine now. So I'm laying down my hash. Now you can use whatever adhesive you use. Okay, Alice. But I use my dry clear art glitter, and I'm just going to add it to the back of the white. I think summer has officially arrived at my house because it's warm outside. I've been like this for a few days, so bring on summer. Bring on summer, but no forest fires. So I'm just gonna scoop this right up to the edge of my spacer. Lift this off, and look at how sad it is. And then I'm gonna take my burnishing tool. Make sure I collect any. Try not to be too crazy with the glue. All right, and there's the first part. So I'm probably gonna want to use those again. So there's the first part. So let's bring our instructions back in. And my suggestion is kind of work from the back paper to what's going to be the top elements in your project. So we need that view piece that had the stripes on it. That's 4x6. And it's looking like they want it to be to the top part than to the bottom part. But I'm going to suggest that what we do is adhere these 2 pieces together first, okay? Okay. So I'm going to get my smaller size. I think this is going to be like 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. I think it's 1/4. I think that's the one we're going to want for this. So if you've been on the fence about these smaller spacers, don't be, because this is where they're going to come handy, is when we do things like this, or when you're doing cards, because it helps line everything up for the perfect fit. So don't take that out yet. So I'm going to pick up my white. I'm going to add adhesive to one side of it, to the photo mat. to make sure that everything is nice and square. I'm going to lay it down, butting up to the spacers. Okay, lift that out, lift the spacers out, and give it a burnish. The nice thing about the glue is it does dry clear, so if you make a little mess. And I recently learned a trick from Jen Palmer and Teresa Elliott, I think at the same time. I was talking to them, and I was saying I had gotten some dries clear glue on some paper I've been with, and made a suggestion: use rubbing alcohol to lift it, the glue off of the metallic. So I'm kind of get glue on just regular paper the same way. I'm gonna try it at some point, but today. All right. What my instructions are showing me is that this is kind of tucked up the corner of the weight. So again, I'm going to double up my spacers. So I'm going to use a half spacer. I'm actually going to turn it sideways. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch spacer on the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to tuck in my quarter inch spacer. It's about what it looks like to me. And then stuff on my white paper. I stick this down like so. Now remember, I've got it laying sideways. See? And if you're OCD like I'm, but some things, and you need to measure it. But look what you can just take your ruler, measure the paper. It says it's 3/4, and look at that. With my spacers, I'll be exactly 3/4. So those that know me well know that sometimes I get a little fixated on things like that. And look at now it's spacers that help me. So I'm going to add my adhesive. It doesn't say anything about popping up this mat, so I'm not going to. Just going to add my adhesive back of it. Now you can use dry adhesive. You could use red line tape, whatever you want to use. But like I say, I'm going to use my dries clear. And then again, I'm just pushing it up to those spacers. Gonna let spacers out of here now so I can get a good burnish. Yes, summer weather. About time. All right. So there's your photo mat. So I'm going to turn this so I got it in right orientation. Now here's for the fun starts, because we get to start adding our things. Now the one thing it does mention, it says that don't adhere the F and the A to this photo mat until you put your picture on it, okay? So let me get out the bits and the bobs for the front of this. So it wanted the word fan, this cute little bike, a sunshine, tree, couple of clouds, the pink house, and a pink. All right. So that need for this particular build, as I call it. Now, I don't think it really matters where you start, except that we this tree to go down first, and it kind of hangs over the paper. And when I get my directions, it's not telling me to pop it, so I'm just going to add some dries clear and adhere. This sleeve is going to be glue if I don't move it. And if you're kind of thinking you had pieces left over, which, and you're thinking that you would like to add some of those pieces. I'm going to suggest you wait just a little bit, because if you're doing the extension kit, you're going to use some of your pieces on the extension kit. I guess if you wanted to, you could ink it. I'm not. I think it's cool the way it is. But that's just my take. Now, the house is going about like here, but you want to make sure you don't adhere it, because you've got your photo mat, and it's going to pop it up. So I'm going to turn it over. Got my pop dots handy. Now just let me check something here. Yes, do that, because that's not going to interfere with anything. So I put a pop dot on the bottom, but I'm not going to put any more pop dots along this. I'm going to put my pop dots kind of here, so that I make sure that I keep enough room. Okay, cooperate dots, please and thank you. Now, if you have to cut down, you can. I would recommend you use the pop dots, because I think if you try to do this with foam tape, you're going to be spending a lot of time cutting. Okay, and I think there's going to be one more, but I just want to position this first. Yes, I think I can put one here, and it'll be fine. Now, I probably use a few more pop dots than maybe I need to, but that's me. I think I put one in the middle there because I don't like the way it's going to cave. There we go. Now I'm probably going to be happy. Yes. Okay, so I'm looking at my picture, kind of deciding on my placement. And then we'll get it laid down. Like I said before, I'm not going to go through all the pages with you. I'm probably going to do the front and the back of page 1. We'll see time-wise. And then I'm probably going to say, like I said at the beginning, if you're having difficulty with something, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm lining the bottom of the house out, bottom of the tree. And if happy, I believe I am. So there's our house. So it's put a sprinkle right here. And I'm assuming it's talking about the little blacks. At least that's what I'm going to go at this point. Sorry for the rattle. Probably should have taken them out of their plastic before we got it. And what I like to do is I like to just sort of pick it up. I'm kind of a picky tool. Give it maybe a little glue back, and then add it without glue and everywhere. Isn't that cute? A little pop of. All right. Now it's this little bike. It's gonna go right down here, about the same, like so, same height up from the bottom of the. So we're going to turn it over. I'm not sure. I think yes. And one pop dot. I don't know what the correct terminology is to describe them. And it's going to go right about there, but we're keeping it at the same height as the house. So I'll do this. And I'm going to work from the top. So I want to keep it lined up with the house. And then just pop it on down. Oh, isn't that stinking cute? I like it, Kit. Like it, like it, like it. Now I've got two clouds. This blue cloud has popped up, but the white cloud is not. It looks like the white cloud is just about the height of the chimney. And the blue one is kind of overhanging like that. Okay, so we're going to just put adhesive. Now I am going to get my tweezers out, because I find when I'm placing things that sometimes it helps me to use my tweezers. And like I say, that's just me. If your hands are a bit more steady than mine, which they could be, so we kind of want it right about there, give or take. Right, and then we're going to put a dot on the back of this clip. I believe that'll fit. I want to make sure that my pop dot, is not hanging out from the back or whatever I'm positioning it on. And then I'm going to add this like so. And there is that. And then it says it wants this little heart just scooched up here of chimney, something like that. Actually, it's closer than that. So I'm just going to cut one of these because it's just going to be too big. And my scissors. And we're gonna cut it in time because it really is too big. Got one over there because I'm sure I'm gonna get, because you go through a lot of pots with this. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take the other half and I'm gonna stick right in here underneath them, need to support the chimney, and then we're gonna take the backing of it. Hopefully my hand's not in the way, just to support that a little bit. And then we're gonna add the heart like so. Now, as it said to us before, F and the A are not glued down, but MILLY are, but they're popped up. So this is going to be the tricky part. So we're gonna put foam on these ones, but we're not going to adhere it to the picture. And then after you've got your picture in there, then you can adhere it. And the sun is not popped up. So the sun is basically right about here. And then I just want to make sure, and then it's going to like this. Move my sun up just a little bit so I can move family up just a little bit. So it's going to be like this. Okay, so let's put some adhesive on the back of the sun. Okay, again, I'm going to use our tweezers, and I am going to put it right about there. All right, perfect. Let's get some pop dots. Some of these are going to be okay. We won't have to cut them. Others we are going to have to cut because they're just going to be too big, and that's okay. So just get a few off my roll. And I'm going to cut some strips. And again, whatever adhesive you just use, go for it. Can't wait to see these finished. Because when I saw the one I was at retreat finished, that's what sold me on. They're just so stinking cute. I'm gonna do this. The most time consuming part is probably going to be adding your adhesive. So just an FYI, this would be a project to do while you're sitting at the TV or in TV. And I'm going to get a couple more. This can go here. And I always like to kind of just test it. Okay, I'm pretty happy. I'm going to cut this guy in half. Okay. I'm going to put him here. And the other half is going to go like so. I'm going to put a little bit there. I just don't have it. Okay. Okay. And then let's cut this up because he's a little lonely. I just want a piece of this one. I do this all the time with pop dots. I make my pop dots fit where I want them to go. And like I say, I know I probably overdo them. But again, you do you, is what I'm going to say on that subject. Put this little guy right here at the bottom. And this guy's going to go here. And let's do a quick dry fit and see if I'm going to be happy with that. Oh, yeah. Now remember, not taking the back off the foam dots that are here. And I don't even think I need any anymore. So I'm just going to take off the M. Gonna have to get my smaller tweezers. Moving out of this shot so I can put this into my little garbage can that I have here on the side of my desk. I have not left you, or we're not frozen in time. And like I say, basically, just follow the pictures. And then if you decide to go rogue, just keep in mind that you use something that comment on one of the pages. You're just going to have something different, and don't get your tool stuck on these. And of course, it doesn't want to come up. So let's get my other tweezers. They're a little bit finer. There we go. And down to the last two. Okay. We're going to grab the and get this shot. I didn't leave. And what we want to make sure we're lining up is the MILY. Okay. Right about there. And remember, we didn't take adhesive off the F or the A. so that we can, when we put our pin here, just going to use, it can slide in under the FA. So keep in mind what picture you want to use according to that. Hi, Debbie Watson. Hi, Cheryl. So basically putting together the kit, the Doodlebug kit that Emmy was selling in the shop. And so there's the front of page 1, or that is pin completed. And it basically now just slide into its little hole like so. And then when you're ready to add the picture, you can add the picture. Now I still need to put my up here, and that my comes out of, or comes up of, these sunshine letters. So let's do that. Now I will say this is one of the places that I get myself worked up sometimes, is when I want to lay down letters. Hang on. Sleeve went flying off my table. So we're going to need, I'm going to try and do it this way, hoping I can use my Tim Holtz ruler to my advantage. So I need M. And I'm just have no idea if it's going to work, people. So bear with me. Just do this. Okay, there's my M. And then I need a Y. And they are way down here. I really like their stickers. They're very, very, very nice to work with. So a big shout out bug stickers. All right, and then we're going to see if I can do this. So the money is going to go to about there. And I'm hoping if I stick this part down, and then I lift this up. Look at that, it did work. Thank you, Teresa Elliott, telling me that. So there we go. There is the front of page 1 completed. I add it to the sleeve. So your little holes that are going to touch. There's the front of page 1. All right. So I think we'll go on to page 2, because page 2 is pretty cute also. Move out of my way because I don't know right now to find my page 2. I moved everything. Here are my pieces. So I'm just gonna lay the sleeve out of our way. Put all these fancies of mine over to one side. And so for page 2, we want this beautiful color. Other tip I'm going to give you, I would always dry fit this in the sleeve, just in case if you've done a miscut or you've cut it too big. This is the moment you can catch that before it's like, see, looks like it's a little long on the side. So I'm going to measure again, because perhaps I cut a little off. But that's the joy of dry fitting. That was a little bit too much. So let's tuck it in the back. Okay. And there it is in the back. I'm happy. I'm not really though, because I'm thinking it's a little too big. So I'm going to give it another sliver. So let's just see how it's going to be now. No, I think this is the one when I put it in, I thought it was a little crooked, and it seems like it's a little smaller than an 8x8. So we're just going to remedy the problem by slicing off a little more. Better now than after. And then I'm going to be happy. All right. Let's get rolling on this one. So I'll just tuck one over here for now. And here is the front of page 2. So again, I'm going to use my scoreboard as my tool to help me because it is an 8x8. Now here are the pieces we need. We need this beautiful 4x6. And I'm going to put the white on top of it. So we're going to adhere these together. Again, I'm going to suggest that we use our little spacers that we have. What's the point of having a tool and then we don't use it? That's my thoughts on the matter. I'm just going to give this a burnish because from when I cut it, add our adhesive and then line it up just to the edge of that spacer to go under the spacer. And you can lift your spacers out. Good burnish. Like I say, I love my spacers. I use the big ones all the time. And the little ones are really for cards, or you want a photo mat top of another piece of paper, something like what I'm doing here. It's an excellent. Now, as I showed you before, if you're kind of going with that spaces, you can take your ruler, you can just measure the space, and voila, it's a 1/2 inch. So, and it just so happens, just gonna double check. Yeah. I have some spacers that are 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm going to put this down for the 1/2 inch at the top, and then we want a 1 inch. So maybe let's work this way. I'm going to have this side down, okay? So that this is actually the top of this page. I turn it around the right way. It's going to be the top, but so it's easy for me to work with. I am going to work with it upside down at this point. Now there is no top bottom at this point, but in this case, so I'm using a 1 inch spacer, and I'm using a 1/2 inch spacer to get me the placement for this mat because it goes right in the center of this piece, this 8x8 piece of pattern paper, but it's scooted to the top because if we look here, we have all this decorating we're going to be doing at the bottom, which is down here. This is the bottom. Okay, so let's get some adhesive on the back of this piece of pattern paper. I always try to tell you guys when I shuffle something around like this so that you're aware that I'm working with it upside down. And then we're just going to slide this up to the spacers. And we're going to lift our spacers out, and we're going to give it a wonderful burnish. And like I say, if you want to ink your edges, go for it. I did not. I just don't think this needed inking. Okay. And there we are. There's our mat. So this is back to the top. And now we're going to do this piece that goes in the middle. And yes, okay. So we're going to use our 1/2 inch spacer. We're just going to push it up to the edge of the picture frame. Okay. And I bet there one. Is it an inch? That's even better. We're going to put this guy down here, our 1 inch big spacer. We won't need guy. Because what it has to do is it's telling us to take a black piece of paper and add it to the project. Now it's 2 and an 8. Let's just double check what I did here. Yep, I did 2 and an 8. Okay. So something like that. And this is going on top. Nice that we have those dots, because let's line it up. And then we're going to put the rest of the little. I'm going to think that's going to work. Okay. So we don't need to pop this up. So we're just going to adhesive to the back of it. And I'm just going to lay this right up against my spacer, making sure I'm not overhanging the page. Lift my space out, give it a good burnish. There we go. And then this piece of border, I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to eyeball this. I think I can. Again, no popping of this border. Now this is where you can use your scoreboard to help you. So I like to start it at one side and then just kind of line it up before I really tack anything down. If this is the time to, you can get your old ruler out and make sure that you've got the same space on one side. Yeah. Okay, we'll give it a good finish. Okay, and it goes like so. And then we have the other bits and bobs that go on this. So we have this border that said home sweet home. We cut that strategically. It's going to go here. So we're going to have to make a little fishtail on it. And then our little circle is going to go like so. And then our little birdie is going to get popped up over here. So this is how I cut my fishtails. Have no idea. There might be a way to do it. I line up the center and to however deep I want my fishtail to go, or my flag, or whatever you call these. And then what I do from the corner up to that center. And then I turn, and I do exactly the same thing on the other side. And normally I get a pretty good or flag. So this is going to go here, getting us to pop it up. So I'm going to get pop dots going here. And this is in piece, so I'm just going to do one of these. I'm going to worry about the actual little flag end. They'll be fine. Put one in the middle. Yeah, I have friends that tell me I use wooden pop dots, but that's good. Okay. And it just this little flag to be something like this, because then our circle is going to over here like so. Okay. So flag first. Once I get backing off of it. And like I said, these are perfect to do. Take your scoreboard, put it on your lap while you're watching TV, and do the pages. Especially if you use the method of where you've got all your bits and pieces in Ziploc bags ready to roll. Because then you just take out the one at a time, and you don't have a zillion pieces all over the place. All right, so going to be about right here, and I'm kind of going to use the bottom to line me up. I'm using this green line here to kind of line up with. I'm happy with that. Looks good. Our little birdie is sort of above the M, tucked in like so, but she's also popped, or he, not sure. So I should be careful there. Now I might want to cut this one down, but I'm going to see for a second. These pop dots are really sticky, but that's good. I'm just going to tuck in a little bit that's here at the top, and the same with what's here at the bottom. And then I'm going to pull the backing off of it. And basically, this is all you're going to keep doing is you're going to just look at your recipe is the picture, and add your bits as the recipe is suggesting. Add your bits. Now over here, where it says this is our happy place, I'm going to put pop dots on this one side, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of dries clear glue on the other. And the reason I'm going to do that, I'm sure you guys figured that out, is because this popped up. It's going to go something like this. Okay, so we're just going to add the glue, and we're going to take the backing off of our pop dot. One more backing, and then line this up. And like I said, this is what I like to use my tweezers, because it just kind of helps me line up. There it is. There's two done. And so we're just gonna these two together. Now I guess you could, if you wanted to, actually adhere them together, and that way, if you have the overhang, you can cut it off. For right now, I'm gonna do that, but who knows? I that in the future. Okay, and that is page 1 and page 2 done. And now all you're going to keep doing is, like I say, you're just going to keep following. This is kind of bugging me a bit, so I am going to have to fix that, but I will. You just follow the recipe, keep making your pages, put in your binder. So like I say, in the first video, I labeled all the sleeves for you, and I walked you through which sleeves you were going to need. So you're just gonna follow this recipe. This one is a 4x4. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 4x4s that go in the sleeves. So it's very simple, and you just keep going with the recipe. So again, if you've any questions, just reach out to me over on Scrapbookers, the Facebook group. Tag me a message, and I will get back to you, or somebody else will see it and will bring it to my attention, and then I will get back and help with whatever it is that you're struggling with or just need a sounding board for. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday. I will see you in my next video. I'm working on a project using the soar paper from Country Craft Creations. Hopefully I'll have it not this Friday, but the following Friday. That's what I'm aiming for. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.
Take care, everybody. Bye.